Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene with Darlene Stamps. I'm so glad that you stopped by. I'm going to continue and be focused with the 12 Days of Christmas in videos. This is video number 2. And I am going to make some cards. So what I wanted to do is kind of combine two things. So I'm going to do this real new Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. And then this is the beautiful autumn, and I'm going to use this thank you. So even though I'm doing quote Christmas theme because these two are in the Christmas catalog, this actually comes as a pack. Put these in here. So we have 2 leaves and this little like acorn. Anyhow, this is sold as a bundle. So, but it kind of utilizes things. And then if I can hold, this is actually with the card we're going to try to make. Let's see if I can angle that right. And you can see the really, it's very nice and subtle, is the embossing on the trees. But just a simple card. These thank yous I'm doing for the inn in Steamboat. And they, of course, have tons and tons of feet of snow for wintertime. So, but one of the tips I wanted to show you, rather than put my big, bulky, big shot here, which, by the way, the new ones come out September 3rd. What I do when I run these through is I do 2 at a time. So it gives me 2 for the price of 1, kind of. Anyhow, but you may have, what I did to kind of make this faster is I will have cut days. My cut days, I will go and cut all my paper. This would be for my card base. This would be for a layer piece. This is the 8.5 by 11 cut at 5.5, and then this is actually 4 by 5.25. So we are going to be layering, and I'm going to use Just Jade, one of the in colors, and that's going to peek behind. So when you do the peeking, it just gives it a hint, just a hint, just like this, just a hint to kind of put that out there so it's not like a whole quarter. So I'm just going to plug along, and there's a couple things that I learned and I want to show you. And as I talk, I am just going to stamp. So I want to be able to stamp my image prior to gluing it, because you never know what's going to transpire or your background. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a planning of per se. So anyhow, on the Just Jade, which I really, anything with the green is right up my alley. And then the thank you obviously is can be Christmas. I'm doing it because it works for that twofold process, which is I can get my thank you cards done for the inn and show you these great products. So that's kind of a two for one. That's how I call that. I also like the polymer because I can actually see what the ink would be, you know, if it has enough ink on it. So I really probably is my preference. And I'm using the piercing mat just because as polymer, there's not a lot of cushion. Well, there's none. And see, now there, hopefully I can get it back. Normally, phew, that was kind of a close call. Normally I do my Stamp-A-Majig, but being that it's kind of a close quarter when I tape, that I was not sure if I did it again. Son of a gun. Well, you're seeing it firsthand. I am, and that one may work. Okay. So let me get this off in my cleaner. I use one of the, kind of using my different things. This is our chamois that we use, and it cleans it so nicely. And I keep it, it stays moist and not really, it doesn't get hard in one of our big cases, the ones we use for the wood. So I'll get that done. Anyhow, stamping right along. Part of the gluing process, I just wanted to kind of touch on and see if I can. I learned something, and you may not be able to see this. Let's see if I can try to angle a little bit. Do you see that there is ever so slightly, and white is going to show everything. When I put glue on this, you actually can see the line of the glue. So I am going to show a little bit of what I will do in order to create that. Now, I normally will, here's my little cutouts. I normally will cut things out, as you have seen, because this is valuable paper right there. But to save time, and I need it to be a little bit more solid than that. So on the gluing, this bottom part is what you need to really focus on when you glue. But then if you will just take your line of your tumble glue just along the edge, because this doesn't really need to stay down as far as the glue process, but those trees, and then your seam kind of just goes away. So anyhow, one of the things that I thought was really cool was how simple. I mean, come Christmas time, which we are all kind of looking on at some of those for our season. And this year, I have a jump start. And so what I'm planning to do is do cards like this. So this is obviously, I'm using the thank you, but really truly, and like I said, this is super simple. I was going to try to do this, true confessions here, I was going to try to do this as a 10 by 10, because what I'm doing is literally 10 of these cards. Whoop, 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 whoop. Boy, did you see it? It just jumped right out of my hands. No, I wanted to do 10 by 10, but as I was going through, I did it like a pretend, not pretend, a mock. I did a mock last night as I was kind of preparing for this, and however I did it, I could not get it under 10 minutes. So I didn't want to kind of I didn't want to do a, what I would call false advertising, that I wanted to do 10 cards in 10 minutes. So, you know, when I do my card day, I'll take one day, and not the whole day, but I will do just my cardstock, and I'll do all my bases, like I said earlier, and I do all of my layer pieces. And then the next day, I will do my cropping. Love it, chop it kind of thing. And then what happens is that I'm not taking valuable time in my process of creating and trying to clean up, sort out, cut, which generally takes way more time. And I've kind of lost my oomph. I'm not sure about you. Anyhow, as I made these earlier, my husband was like, you know, the embossing is so pretty, but it seems like it kind of is lost, where you really can't see the texture in it, because it's so pretty. It's just very subtle, very clean. But this is definitely one of those things where it's simple production-wise. This would be what I'm going to do with this for my Christmas is, this is for cards that you have people who, you could do a lot of wonderful things, and they would not appreciate it. They don't have the creativity. I'm going to show you something I did, and it's because I was hoping to do a little bit more greenery with it, and I wasn't going to show you, but since I did say I was doing 10 cards and I've only done 9, I'm going to show you what I did. And I don't know, I was kind of wanting to do like a tree topper, so I took, oh, of course I didn't put my thank you on this one. I took a hole punch and just topped those, and I'll put some glitter on that. But when I did it, the idea was in my head, but when I did it, it didn't look like what I thought it would be. So I didn't do it, but I will, at least in good honesty of doing 10 cards, I will do it. Okay, so now, simple. And then these just get folded, and we're gonna pop these on. I've seen some gals who do all the scoring. You know, this kind of reminds me of, if you just do it this way and fold it, it's always even. Every once in a while, when I will score, sure shooting, I will get it, and it's, I don't know how or why, it's uneven. So a lot of gals, and it takes time. For example, as a painter, I'm not talking like an artist painter. I'm talking about get the paint pan out, roll and paint, put a new coat of paint on a wall. I know I'm probably weird, but I love to paint. So I have people in my life who go, oh, we just bought a gallon of paint. We're going to paint this room. I'm like, they'll call me because I love to paint. I'm very good at it. But one of the things that I bring it up because to me, scoring is kind of like taping. So I, over the years, have gone through, and I have chose not to tape because literally I could wipe faster, you know, when paint drips. I wouldn't say I am a spotless painter, but when I drip, I can wipe it. So rather than spending an hour or hours and hours taping off the baseboards, taping off the windows, rather than doing all that, I just wipe it. So I kind of feel like scoring in the big scheme of things is very similar to taping for painting. Is that if I can fold it and get it in record time, by golly, I wind up ahead of the game because, as you can see, this is very simple. I'm not going to put any bling on this, primarily because I'm doing this for the inn. So I just make their thank you cards. With this boutique, I did a proposal, and it was, hey, you know, to really make the guest experience wonderful. You know how when you go to a hotel and they slip that paper under your door, and it is primarily to say, hey, your checkout is tomorrow morning, and here's your price. Well, being a boutique and doing things different and just a level up from the rest, I said it would be nice to put this thank you note in an envelope on their bed, and then I had made a stamp, the back, the stamp is for them, and so that that night before, when the cleaning, well, what? Cleaning, the people who clean your room, I'm escaping it, we'll leave this on the pillow, and it could also be a souvenir because it's a special place. And so anyhow, they absolutely loved the idea. So I come up with new designs for their spring and their winter. They get tons of snow, tons. Big ski. It's not over by Vail. It's in Colorado. It's not like, it's like Vail, but it's, anyhow, that's that. So I just thought, well, I can show this and then get some cards done at the same time. So, like I said, it's double duty tonight. So this is basically just showing you how fast, oh my goodness, how fast this can be. So what I didn't do is I did not pop out my shapes, which I normally do. So that saved me a ton of time. So here, I made 10 cards with you. I made 10 cards last night. And voila, 20 cards. I wouldn't quite say 20 minutes, but anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. This was by far something to actually start to finish. I did, of course, the embossing off camera, but do the 2 at a time. Not the color stock, but the white, the whisper white. Anyhow, just a wonderful opportunity, and enjoy the embossing and the cards, and enjoy stamping. It's all about therapy. So this will be number 2. Wave number 3. Talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by.